so-called big blocks. Nobody can move. No, we don't
Yeah.
know how they did it. Can you see it's got ropes around it and everything? They're about to move it. But on the other side of that pile, maybe there's 100 people who are pulling. So-called big blocks. Nobody can move. No, we don't
Yeah.
know how they did it. What is the difference? And then you're going to say aliens built it? Okay, we'll start with all these so-called megaliths and everything. Like big stones, huge stones everywhere. People talk about them and say, what the hell is going on? Yes, what do you call it? The invasion of Europe from Egypt or something to do with Egypt and the Middle East. Yes, let's start by looking at the pyramids. When we look at the pyramids from the air, yes, you'll notice it's got 8 sides and it doesn't have 4 sides like many people think. Do you know about this or you don't?
Actually, I would also have thought it has four sides if you just asked me straight away.
Ah, well, many people don't know this, but actually, it's like they bend inwards. Yes, can you see it?
Hmm.
Pyramids from the air. It's not actually 4 sides. Yes, so it's not actually perfect triangles. So now that's the symbol of ancient Egypt. Now another thing is what many people don't know is let's have a look at the Vatican. Yeah, they've got different designs and things. But the thing is, everyone knows, the Maltese cross and the Knights of St. John. Malta is like you
Right?
could say halfway coming from Egypt and then going on to Italy. It's like the stopover. It's the island, yes. And then when you see the cross, the Knights of St. John, what do you see?
Well, I would
The
also
eight
say, yes, it's also eight sides in the Maltese cross. Yeah, this one I'm familiar with. Hmm.
Yes. So that's the first thing. The thing is, it's a connection, and the thing is, the Maltese cross and the pyramids they're linked together. So it's like they've put this symbol there. It's because they know what it is. It's important for them. It's their symbolism, and the thing is, they are the same people who built these buildings. So now the next thing, let's go to ancient Egypt. Yes, there's a place called Abydos in Egypt, and they say in Abydos they can't make their minds up. They say Osiris, one of the king of the gods, was born there. And then if anybody goes there, what you will see is these great temples, great architecture. Now, this is very, very, very important. Yes, I've not mentioned this before. There are reasons why I've not mentioned it, and I decided to wait now. So now this is from the temple of Abydos. There's several buildings there and everything. And what you will notice is in that picture and this one here, have a look. This is what it's like inside the temple. Now, if we look at this place, an aerial view, yes, what I'll show you, the area they say they excavated it 100 years ago, 150 years ago. So this is what it's like. It's like a complex, several buildings, inside out, and everything. Yes, but you will notice that the thing is, whoever built this place mysteriously built it like underground. So some of the facilities, like the Temple of Satan or Seti the First, how they will pronounce it, or Seth. Notice the name, Seth, short for Satan. Yes.
And you do know that SETI also is the no name for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence program, right?
uh, yes, of course I know. Yes, it's a good name. I like it. They're looking for Satan. Well,
Well,
anyway, have a look at this. This is supposed to be a temple. Is this actually? Who in the hell is going to build something underground like that, below the ground level? And then many people who've not been to Egypt don't know the terrain properly. This temple is basically in the middle of nowhere, yes, or complex. And then you can actually see that I've been to these places. Some of them are in the middle of nowhere, and there's a lot of mining going on even right now in these areas. Yes, that you'll see these hills without grass, without trees or anything like in the background. So you can see this. So now the thing is, what many people don't realize is because they don't investigate. So I just call them a bunch of jokers or losers. They'll say things, there's, what do you call it? hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of posts online saying, "Wow, look at this, look at that, it's so amazing." You know what I mean? And what we will notice in Abydos, yes, many people are going to say, "Hey, have you not seen this? This is confirmation. This place, these people knew about the future. It's amazing." They'll point this out. It's part of the temple, and I'm not sure. I think they've got a duplicate in London museums, Paris museums, and other museums. And they'll say, "Look, we can actually see maybe a helicopter here, maybe a plane here, maybe a tank here." Can you see it?
Yes, I'm familiar with some of those. Mhm.
Yeah, people are like whatever, saying, "Whoa, this is amazing," and everything. Yeah, I would have thought it's amazing. Yes, but of course, as usual, yes, millions of people around the world don't check anything. Why don't they check? I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with people, humanity, that they just believe anything. But now let's go to the same place over 100 years ago. And then what are we going to see? Wait, what are we going to see? Let me just send you this. Now, this is going to be the biggest shock in the world. Yes, for many people who don't know this. And there's going to be many skeptics and everybody. They're going to try to make their own claims up and everything. But the thing is, anybody who's got a brain will be able to understand this straight away and they'll say, "Hey, I can see it immediately." I'm going to send many photographs and people will have to best to open them on your computer or on your television screen. And the thing is, let the world know. So here is the same place over 100 years ago. And what do you see? What are they doing?
Well, there's a gathering. On the one hand, it seems like they're inspecting the place, but it also looks like they're working with some of those, I don't know, wire-based
How many
things.
people are there? Just look in the background. Because what you'll see, did the stones look old?
No, not
Supposed to be thousands of
necessarily.
years.
No, doesn't really
They're
look old.
supposed to be thousands of years old. And the thing is, I just want you to think how many people are there. I will enlarge these pictures so that people can do it. You know, all this information, people could have done the research themselves. But the reason they're coming to listen to me, yes, is because they know that I've noticed these things and they haven't, or otherwise they wouldn't be listening. Yes. Now, if they don't want to listen, they can go somewhere else. Yes, if they don't like it and they don't want to believe it, they can go somewhere else. So now you can see there's so many people there. And now the thing is, what you will notice is I'm enlarging the picture. You'll actually see machinery with pulleys and everything actually putting the rocks in place. Yes, that what do you call it? Construction machinery from the late 19th century, early 20th century. Can you see the ropes around the building? Can you see it?
Yes.
I've just sent it to you. This is not a joke. What does it look like they're doing there?
Well, it could well be that with this they are like pulling up the stones or arranging them or something.
Yes. Do these stones look old to you?
As I said, no, they at least on this old photograph they look quite polished and fresh actually.
Yes, brand new. They look brand new. Don't worry, there's many, many more photographs because, of course, there will be some idiots who are going to make their ideas straight away, thinking, "Hey, no, I think maybe yes, they're old." Yes, so they're going to just make their own assessments on something and opinions based on the official history. Yes, which is nothing but a scam and a lie. Yes, so now I'm going to send you many photographs from that time, and then you can see it yourself. Just 1 second. Let me just get this out. Yes, 1 second. Um, I'm just getting it out. Yes, and then people will be able to judge this themselves. They're not stupid. Yes, they're telling us it's a temple, thousands of years old, amazing hieroglyphics, so called. history written, thousands of years of history written there in hieroglyphics. Now, many of the blocks and everything were brought along to the site like this. And the other materials, yes, I've sent you a picture. What you will notice on the floor is a mini rail track, not a big railway, a mini rail track. You will see people carrying equipment, bars so that you can lift things and use them for pulleys and other things to actually lift blocks. Yes, many of the blocks you can actually cut them at the location, or the other items you can bring from other places. And you can actually carve the blocks in that site. And what you will see is that they're actually building the full location. Yes, they're actually building the full location, and they're moving stones and blocks around. And the thing is, I've just sent you a picture, and the people in the pictures, they're actually slaves, people from England, France, Italy, America, Australia, from these European empires. They went there. At the same time, they were forcing children to go into mining in Europe. And what you could see, can you see? People are carrying things there to, maybe the soil or the earth. Can you see things there?
Yeah.
People are carrying it. Can you see it? Now, I will explain to you why a country like Egypt is poor compared to, let's say, Australia or the United States. Because in Australia and the United States, they spent a lot more time actually building the roads, building buildings, building houses. But over there in Egypt, it was such a big project. They built hundreds and hundreds of sites and everything, these mega
Oh
places
my God.
that
So you're
they,
saying the people there have to have poor living standards because all the money went into forging history with the
it wasn't
buildings,
just money, we're talking
construction
about the
projects.
labor.
Right,
The
right.
labor
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because the amount of time that you're going to spend, let's say, building a building for a school or building a building for houses, homes. Yeah, the thing is, they've taken them to the middle of nowhere, like the Nevada desert or the deserts in Australia, in the middle of nowhere, and they're forcing them to come here, and they've just got them as slaves. Work, work, work. You understand? They did this for 50 years to 100 years, so it's not a joke. Many people have never studied colonialism. Yes, so half of these countries that we're looking around at, they were building useless things, and they used them to do mining for free and then bring the materials back to Europe and America.
So,
So that's why Europe and America is beautiful, Western Europe especially, and um, North America, and these are the places. So we should be grateful. Yes, because a lot goes down to these people, which we are unaware of. And also, we should be grateful today that the people in the past, even in Europe and America, they suffered a lot. They went through a lot, separating children, everything, and they forced them to work. And these people built the streets, the roads, and many other things. And the thing is, we've got a better life today. So we should be grateful, and we should always remember them too. Yes, and we should teach it to future generations. But anyway, they're working, and don't worry, I've got many pictures to show. Have a look at this one. You can clearly see that they're actually working, and you'll see their European master and some man who's going to be the local translator. And in this picture, what you'll notice is that there's mega ropes, and they're actually moving a megalith. They're actually carrying and moving a megalith. I've enlarged it now so that you will see that, what do you call it, the logs are under the megalith. And can you see how many people are lifting it?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you see it? So
Yeah.
they're putting this in position. Today, you'll see great temples there. Now you will say, how does Egyptology, how does it make money? Right, when you're going there, you're going to buy a luggage, you're going to buy clothes. It keeps this global economy for the rich amongst themselves, to keep things going. So the clothes, the suitcase, then you're going to buy the flight ticket, you'll get on the plane, and the plane company will make money. And even with the fake stories of how much oil or something they're using for the plane. So all
Right.
this money, they'll say an oil surcharge. Then you're going to the airport, taxi or car. You're paying money. You're just paying out money. Then what do you call it? Yes. Yeah, you pay a ridiculous price for a cup of coffee at the airport. Well, I don't drink tea or coffee, but it's because people complain. They said it to me. Or me, if I did drink it, I wouldn't even notice the price. I only notice because people say, coffee price, have you not seen it? And I turn around and think, what are they on about? I say, why do they drink tea or coffee? I don't drink tea or coffee. Yes, So the thing is, then you arrive over there, and the local economy, they're making money at the airports, the taxis, or you buy the local SIM card, internet, telephone calls. Back in the days, you had to pay telephone calls, which were a lot, 10 times higher compared to a mobile phone.
Oh yeah.
And when you used to travel, if you were like me traveling 30 years ago, then you would know. Yes, and from your hotel room
Then
service.
just briefly, because first I thought about entrance fees to different sites and so on, which of course you mentioned, even they have this
That's
Stonehenge, but just now, just realizing this may even just be the smallest part because I mean
no, that
every
is a very small part. Shall I tell you how the money is divided? Thomas Cook is like, for example, in Egypt, you can't understand this unless if you actually read the full book. So many people are saying, hey, what are my lectures about? They're actually about my books. And it's like some people have said, why won't he declare, what do you call it, some parts of the Bible to be the word of God, some parts of the Talmud to be the word of God, or some parts of the Quran to be the word of God? I'm sorry, I'm actually investigating history, and I'm not looking for followers or anybody to follow me or anybody to think I'm a saint. I'm not a perfect person. I'm like everybody else. I've just done some investigations. I found lies in history. It's like, look at this. They're moving megaliths, and then they're going to tell you at this site also, they're going to tell you these stones, they weigh mega, 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 mega tons. Oh, yes. But then we've got 1 ton, by the way, depending on the amount of granite, sometimes it could be 100 kilos. But then 100 kilos is like a meter square. Many people really don't know these things.
Mhm.
But anyway, the thing is,
So
that's how they use.
just what one thing I wanted to mention about entrance fees and so on. Of course, it's an important part, but I'm just considering every country, of course, is beautiful to visit, but
Yeah.
how important would it be for many people to go to Egypt or whatever, or maybe just to go to one country in Northern Africa and not need to see everyone? Because today, every country, they have their heritage sites, and it's like for many people, it's a big
For
reason
me,
to go somewhere.
okay,
So just,
okay, okay. I will tell you. Um, for me, the heritage sites are beautiful, but then I do something else. It's like, for example, if I'm going to go to Iran, then for me, I'm going to watch movies, dramas, learn the language, learn a bit about the history, think of the beauty of the women. Yes, when you're younger, I'm giving you an example. Think of what type of food they eat. I'll want to know the locations. What's the cities like? It's like for me, it's a totally different ball game. It's like if I'm in Egypt, Cairo, I think is one of the most amazing 24-hour cities in the world. It's more crazy than New York, except without the drinking and the nightclubs. But the thing is, it's just like crazy. I just think it's amazing. So I like going there because it's 24 hours. Whereas Paris, when it's non-weekend, it's like it's dead on a Monday night or
mhm.
Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. And I think, is that it? It's like it's dead after 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Yeah, you can walk around in many areas and it's dead. So the thing is, for me, when you're traveling, I like it to be, like 24 hours, things to do. Go out, it's exciting. The warmth,
Right.
the noise of the cars, the noise of the people, learning a bit of the local language and everything. Tokyo is another 24-hour city that's amazing. So is New York, and so is Osaka. Osaka in Japan, that's another one. Shanghai is practically dead on weekdays after 7, 8, 9 o'clock. I mean, when I say dead after 7, 8, 9 o'clock, I mean maybe a few bars and things, but the whole city is not lively at
Hmm.
3 a.m. on a Monday night or 5 a.m. Egypt, it's just crazy. Midan Tahrir, they call it. Cairo is just crazy. I'm not joking to you. It's somewhere that if you can, in Midan Tahrir, yeah, there's Ramses Hilton there. But if you stayed in Ramses Hilton, the thing is you can't go open the windows or many things and everything. Actually, it's better to stay at a cheaper hotel in a place called Midan Tahrir and say, I want to face this Tahrir Square. And it's amazing to see the river and the cars are going
Hmm.
24 hours at night. It's just ridiculous. And for me, I don't care if I don't sleep because, when you're on holiday, you want to feel something else. And then the Egyptian music, get some of the local music. Make sure you listen to that place's music when you go there.
Yes.
It's like when I'm in Russia, I will only listen to Russian music while I'm there. Ruski. Yes, if I'm there, if I'm in Czech Republic, I'll listen to Czech Republic music. If I'm in Bulgaria, it's like I'll listen to Bulgarian music. Like, for example, there is Akobia Taksero di la Reka. If I'm in Serbia, there's the Sandra Africa. Yeah, what does she sing? Sandra Africa. Um, Bosnia, Serbia, Croatia. It's an amazing song. There's an amazing song. Her name's, she's not African, Sandra Africa. Yeah, so something like that. So it's like, it's amazing. If I'm in Germany, I'll listen to Das alles ist Deutschland, or I don't know. It's not what Germans will like, but because I'm in another country, it's like I want to hear the language, I want to hear the music. Yes, and I'll think, hey, I'll listen to watch a few German dramas or movies, even if the just to get the feeling before I go there. If I'm going to Taiwan, yeah, I'll watch PZ Yingshonga, PZ Yingshong. Yes, and the drama and get the feeling before I go there. If I'm going to Korea, South Korea, I love their version of Boys Over Flowers. It's so amazing, Gujun Pyo and things like that. So you just get the flavor and going there. But anyway, more money. How do they make more money? So now then there's the hotel fees, then there's the restaurants and everything, because those are dependent on the tourist industry. So there's many things, and there's an international scam of how the money world works. It's paper, but because they're corporations, they transfer wealth over. Yes, so the thing is that they do have competition. But anyway, let's go further on. There's
So
so
just
the thing,
one last sentence. All I wanted people to consider is that all these many potentially faked monuments wouldn't be there. There probably would be a lot less usual touristic travel, you know. It would be a lot different. So it's a huge money machine probably if you connect all these dots that you just mentioned. Yeah.
oh
So
my God, it's a huge
it's
money
huge.
machine. If you're going to go to Luxor, the coaches, the buses, if you arrived in Cairo airport, the internal flights, things like this, there's many things. It's a huge industry. Yes, because people are spending thousands when they're going, and it's part of the world economic system to make sure that when the government prints money, yes, people think that the government wants your money. No, it doesn't. When electricity, gas prices go up, the governments actually own everything. So what they do is they want the money supply to go, because people will save it, and paper is paper. So they will think, hey, it will cause inflation. So they put the price up. But anyway, let's continue. So the thing is, if they haven't read that book, they're not going to know the background, the basis, what is going on, and why. Yes. So the thing is, there's some people who are lazy, and then you'll turn and see they keep talking even after the videos, or other people who are saying, hey, so what? That's one side. I don't understand this now. It's because I'm talking about my books here. Yes. And the thing is, if they want to do research themselves, everything's online. I'm not forcing anyone. There you go. Well, anyway, let's have a look at this Abydos. They call it Assyrian temple, sometimes Seti the First temples. It's a complex. Here you can see, you know, yes, there's blocks on top of some blocks, and these blocks, they're not there by accident. Yes, the thing is, some of the blocks, they're there, and then they have to move them around. So what do I mean by move them around? You'll see that there's ropes there, and the thing is, you'll see drill holes, and the other thing that you will see of how they link the stones together, and the other things like the picture I've sent you. Let me enlarge it, and then you can see it. Can you see the drill holes and everything else? The cuttings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So the thing is, there's no evidence that these places were built by the ancient Egyptians. And then there was, if some blocks were brought from outside, some blocks were, they used to put them on top of these trolleys. This is to bring some other things on the trolleys and equipment. And then they used to carry it. I call these mini rail tracks. And the thing is, so that's why they used machinery. And so what they're doing, and the children in the pictures, they're slaves. I'm being serious, Jude. In my books, it explains it. It shows photographs of the children being beaten, even women who were kidnapped and everything taken to the desert areas in the middle of nowhere, in some deserts where there's no food or anything. So they just prepared these, and they put them in locations that have geometrical matchings to do with the number 19 and with the number 33. They measured these locations and everything. But the thing is, that's what they did. They destroyed entire nations. Yes, and so the thing is, the entire sites were managed by Europeans
So then, just to be
and
clear,
Americans.
this example would exactly also apply to the Great Pyramid of Giza because that's the most famous
Yes,
one.
uh,
Hmm.
just have a look at the stones in this new picture I've just sent you. Do you know what they're telling you? I'm going to show you in a minute when it comes to Giza, because they're telling us these are megaliths and they weigh, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kilos, 500 kilos, 1,000 kilos,
But they're actually
2,000.
made of cardboard.
No, no. They're pretty strong. Yeah, because they used slaves. I'm going to show you how many slaves in a minute, and you're going to think, I can't believe this. They used so many slaves, and the thing is, they used ropes and pulleys, like I showed you before. The equipment in this picture, you'll see the man there, and in the background, on the right-hand side, you'll see the pulleys and the levers that you can see, and the ropes are very big, and you can see a man who's actually pulling on a rope or some metal rod or something behind this man. What do you call it? This man, you can see his hand is actually broken and it's wrapped up and bandaged. It's sad what they did to these people. Yes. So, then now today, there's many people who are racist and saying, hey, why do these people want to come over here? What happened to their lands? Because they could have economically developed themselves. Yes, but it was people from our side of the world who did this, and then we stole a lot of their resources too. Yes, and then we took advantage of them for 100, 200 years through military occupations, and the Vatican organized it, and their allies. Yes, I've shown this in the treaties with the humanists. The humanists and the Vatican and other people, they made contracts. All this information is in my books. If people don't read them, I can't do anything. Yeah, so here is an example. At this site, you'll see many of the slaves. Can you see them? Yeah, there's many of the slaves. Then there's another thing that many people turn around and say, that the strange carvings and markings on the walls, because many of them were children, teenagers, so they drew pathetic, crazy things on the walls that just don't make sense. Yes, and they're drawn across there because these people came and they forced many people to become Christians. Yes, and you can see they've done a shape of a pyramid or something there. You know what I mean? So this is the locals. They did this and they left this there. Can you see it? Why would they draw this? Maybe they were used to build the pyramids as well, which is most likely. Yes. I'm going to show more evidence. This isn't enough. So let's have a look as the finished product is coming around. Yes. Oh, of course. Look at this carefully. It's brand new. This is not restoration or some crap that somebody's going to be saying. It's restoration. Oh, they were just repairing it. Rubbish. Look at this place right now. And then, because the stones were broken, the stones used to fall. So look carefully at the top. So when you look at the top, you'll see cracks in the stones. And then many people say, hey, these stones fit in perfectly together. It's because these people, they just threw anything there, filled it with this and that, and they had to make it look whatever. Like that's the finished product. But let's go back and have a look more at the work and just look at these people who went there, scammers. Yeah, because they knew it's going to make money. Can you see it? Yeah, the slaves are working and they're preparing to move that rock. Can you see it? Yes. And the thing is, he's just sitting there thinking, hurry up, guys. Yes. Yeah.
This will make my great grandson a lot of money.
No, he made money at that time too. They made money. They made a lot of money at that time too, because there was many tourists going even at that time. That it's just ridiculous. But so now let me just show you. You will see there's one of these people. Many of them work for the East India Company. That's why many people don't know East India Company. Many people will think that it's white European masters and things like this. But if they don't read my books, they won't know. Some families from India, yes, who were involved in these projects. Yes, and the thing is, so many of these Europeans are actually the workers. They made a lot of money, but as you can see now, the picture I've sent you is it's not a finished product, and it looks like a mess because the thing is, these people did the construction and they're bringing in the rocks, and they're just the way they're bringing it in. Uneducated workforce, never been to school, they don't know anything. That they found poor people and they're just taking advantage of them, and they've kidnapped them as slaves. Now it looks like a mess that somebody's going to say, they must have found it like that and it's reconstruction. No, it's because at that time, let me just show you. So it's like, because there's going to be some people who are going to say whatever because they don't investigate themselves, some lazy bums and losers, and then they'll say something. But here you can see, yes, can you see? The other rock is there where that man was sitting. Now we found this rock here, yes, that's just come out of nowhere, yes, in the pile, and they're moving it. Can you see it?
Hmm.
The rock that he's sitting, there's another rock there that he was sitting on. Can you see it's got ropes around it and everything? They're about to move it. And so the thing is, they are using technology. I'm not sure if that's an iron bar or rod and everything to help. But on the other side of that pile, maybe there's 100 people who are pulling. We don't know.
All
And
right.
then, there's pulleys that are linked. Now, some people will say, how do you know these things, David? Yeah, it's because, like I said before, there's one video I shared with you before. But the thing is, I've done charity work in the Middle East, and the thing is that many places they don't have proper regulations, and so because they don't have proper regulations, so construction work is a lot different, and here is a construction project that I was doing in Morocco, and the thing is, they used to bring the items every few days, and let me just show you my team, and then you will think, oh my God, yes, David even had a team there, yes. And the thing is, I had to buy in Moroccan Arabic, which is not Arabic but Moroccan. It's called Simen Ramla. I had to buy all the Simen Ramla Hadid, everything, and then the construction workers, yes. This was for a family that the house only had the first floor. I paid for it to get the other two floors done. But let me just find photographs of the workforce. And the thing is, these people they'll work 12 hours, so that and they work very hard. Let me just find photographs of the workforce that you'll see that they've got a bit more modern clothes. But what do you call it? Yes, it doesn't seem to have changed that much in 100 years compared to the construction workforce, let's say in Europe or England. So because many people have never been involved in construction, they don't have a clue. So if they don't have a clue, yeah, it's not good to invent something because people seem to assume that all over the world that construction is the same in Europe, same like in let's say in Vietnam or in Peru or in Mexico or in Argentina and other things. Here is they're bringing stones to mix with the cement and everything to make it look like big blocks. And the thing is, let me just find the workforce pictures because the thing is that family was very poor. Half of them were living outside, like in metal building cages. So the thing is, oh, somebody's going to say this is from David's workforce this year. This year I did a different construction project in that same area in Morocco. This is a totally different project. There's actually, you can see that they've got different clothes on. The faces of the workers are different because there's some idiots there who just want to criticize me and say, David didn't give any charity. David didn't do anything. I'm not showing off or anything. I'm just showing, hey, I did this construction work. Yeah, I paid for it. I helped some poor people. Ah, yes. So the purpose, I told many people, yes, don't follow me. If you want to become a better person, go and help people, help the poor outside Europe and America, Australia, Japan, Korea, outside Hong Kong, outside Malaysia. Half the world is poor. Yes, things like this, so they need our help. Yes, not just our prayers. They actually need action. So the thing is, um, you know, the thing is, and the wooden logs to actually lift blocks and everything, they don't use wooden logs for floorboards over there. Sometimes they use them for the roofs or actually to lift things and other things. So I've got used to it. I've seen it myself and the kind of dangerous work they do. And the thing is, because they're desperate for money. So things like that. So I've seen it myself. So the thing is, I know what the people are capable of. Well, when these colonial empires were there, the East India Company, I'll go through it next time. Yes, was not actually a British or British Empire, how people will assume. But anyway, it's clear we can see. Yes, let's go back. These huge blocks are huge megaliths, And what you will notice is that some of them look broken or something. And then even in the broken, that you'll see they found another block and they fitted it on exactly. And people will say, wow, this is amazing. No, it's nothing to do with amazing. It's because the thing is, what do you call it? Somehow they linked it together, these workers and the finished product. Let me show an example of what the finished products look like. That people are just going to say, David, that's megaliths, but it's not megaliths. Here's part of it. So if you went there, you'll say, how did they get these blocks together? It looks amazing. Just look at this. Somebody's going to think it's megaliths. How did they get one block to another, connected, everything? This is just so amazing. Wake up, guys. Why don't you just do a bit of research yourself? Yes? Yeah. And if you don't like my research, don't watch. Just don't watch. That's it. It's simple as. Yes? Simple as. And so the thing is, well, anyway, let me show. There's other blocks that as you go higher, the blocks get smaller. You notice in that picture. Yes? And so what do you see there? Here you'll see the workers taking along. Yes, you'll see the blocks piled up. They're taking it under through there into the site. Yes, and there's like some mini rail, whatever. And it's like the thing is, yeah, they're getting the job done. It looks like a mess, but it's not a mess. I've done these type of construction projects. So there, I've enlarged it, and you'll see on the right-hand side, it's like it's a brand new block. And they're taking it inside and it's left at the door. It's like unfinished work. You can see the big ropes there, everything. They're actually working. You see? Yes? They're actually building the site. It's clear they built this site. They're building it. Yes? Of course, they're going to tell you, oh, no, we found it like this and everything. So now that same place, here is another picture. Maybe it's from the same day or a different day. This is from above. So the thing is, as you can see, there's a lot of machinery equipment there and everything, ropes, police chains to lift the heavy things, you can see. So they've got police chains, everything, and then they're getting it done. And as you can see, the blocks are brand new. So maybe the project took 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, God knows. Yes. So, but as you can see, it's clear. They built this place. Yes. But oh no. Yes, there's going to be some wabbit season. No, wabbit season. Yeah, there's going to be the people there like Bugs Bunny who are just going to come out and they're just going to say anything that they want. Yes, and they'll say, no, they found it like that. No, so they'll show, it's like when you just open up Wikipedia, maybe they'll show you something like this, and they'll say Osirian Central Hall, and they'll say, we just found it like this. That's because many people won't look for the full history. Why did these
Oh,
people
I'm
have
just
these
realizing
photographs?
now it's also convenient because we can find it. It looks maybe kind of, how should I say, not perfectly straight and so on. But then the reason is not because you had all these unskilled laborers just doing whatever, but because it's thousands of years old. That's actually a perfect match.
Yeah, what a joke. Don't go. You can pull the brains of all these, brainwashed people. Yes, actually, it's a good idea. These people are smart. Yeah, that's why people fall for all these religions and everything. So in Egypt, they've got all these slaves and they've messed it up. And, we've got all these gospels that are coming from Egypt. We've got all these Muslim history books known as Hadith coming from Egypt. They're killing people there. They've turned them into slaves. And somebody's trying to turn around and tell me, oh no, these manuscripts are historical. Yeah, and these manuscripts say ridiculous things about Christianity and about Islam, and many of them are like perverted documents. The Talmud, which was like arranged in Egypt as well, yes, and then it came to Italy. Many people say it's got some of these things that nobody even wants to talk about. Why doesn't anybody think, these same people, they changed the entire country. They left it poor. Egypt is one of the most poorest countries. It's not even like like people imagine Turkey to be poor. I'm telling you, it's so poor you won't believe it. People imagine Mexico to be poor. I'm telling you, Egypt. Yes. So now let me just show you what they will say, these historians in the same place. What are they going to say? Read this. Yeah, people believe it. This Osirian or whatever, Abydos, consists of large square rows granite pillars, most of which are completely void of any carvings or inscriptions. It's brand new, guys. That's why many of them don't have inscriptions. They were still building it in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s and 60s, and some of them are as heavy as 100 tons. Yes, and these are granite. They had to be brought from Aswan, so far away. Aswan's in the south, Aswan Dam. Many people don't know where it is. That's because they already had railway, but at that time in the 1920s and 30s, when they were still constructing the place. But nobody thinks so. So many people don't put their brains to this. But let me just show you now. So they're going to say it's 100 tons, but let's go through this. Oh yeah, and the thing is, people can check this themselves, so they don't need to watch my videos and then criticize me, and then not do the rest of the research themselves, and then speak, and then put everybody else off, and give everybody else a negative thought. The truth is, people have come because they know that I'm giving what I've found and what I've seen, and I've done the extra research. So people are coming to listen to me here. Now, if you don't like it, I told you, if you're going to be there and you're trying to mix history with religion, yes, then go away. If you're going to try to mix it with because you're an evangelical Christian or something, or you're some newborn Muslim or something, or something, and you'll say it contradicts my Buddhist history, or what David is saying does not agree with the Hindu scriptures or something, please go away. Go away. Nobody's asking you to come. You understand? No one's asking you to listen to me. You're not looking at this information. You can search for it yourself. Or maybe you weren't smart enough to actually find it, or you were stupid dumb. Yeah? You've actually come because you want to see the information I'm going to present. Yes? And it's already there. You can look for it yourself. So why are you coming? Yes? So now here is 1 ton. Yes? What do you call it? It's like 900 kilos. Now, what many people don't imagine, yes, is that let's go through granite. Yes. So the thing is, they tell you lies about granite. How big is 1 ton of granite? As a general rule, yes. What do you call it? Let's say Cloburn. If you bought it from Cloburn, granite weighs 1.4 tons per cubic meter. Do you know how big is a cubic meter? It's very big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the big blocks, along the bottom of the pyramid, in the bottom 10 floors. That's it. And what is it? It weighs 179 kilos. That's if the average man, let's say, it weighs 60 kilos or something, or 40 kilos or something, you don't need many men to lift it. You see? So the story of the pyramids, and then you've got modern machinery, the modern rail, the modern pulleys, the modern chains, everything and other things. Yes, so it's not very difficult to build the pyramids. So now the thing
So
is,
just to
depending
be
on
clear,
where.
1.4 US tons would still be over a ton in kilogram, but still, if you have, 10, 15 people doing it, it would still be manageable, I guess.
There is another thing. So that's why, because what they don't tell you, I only mentioned Cloburn granite. There's many different types of granite. So depending, it's like in some granite places, some granite has 95 kilos. What do you call it? Black slabs of what do you call it? Granite within a square meter, and the single could weigh 180 or something. So it depends on the content. Now, just because somebody has told you, yeah, oh, this one has got so much granite inside it, it doesn't mean it's true. You see?
Hmm.
There is no evidence that these blocks that they're telling us in
Yeah,
South
it's like with
America,
the gold in Fort Knox and so on. If you don't check it out in detail and drill in,
you know,
you never
gold
know what
probably,
it is.
there's nothing there probably. You know what I mean? Yes. Gold has no value anymore for the financial system. Yeah, for the jewelry trade and other things it has. Well, here's a picture from England, and the thing is, while they were using people as slaves over there, yes, in England they were actually using the people to build the country. Yes, and then they brought other materials, and here you can see that like many city walls that we're seeing these castle walls. Some of them are fakes. They're not ancient. They've just built them out of nowhere. That what you can see, it's the same kind of construction thing. And what many people don't notice is, you'll say, how the hell did people do it in them days? In them days, yeah, people weren't so lazy. They were desperate, and they used slavery in England too. So what you'll see in the middle of this This place is about 10 floors high, 10 stories high. It's not a small place. 10 floors high. Look how high that guy is. There's not a rope or anything there. He's carving out the walls. You see? So when they made these fake places like Petra, for instance, this Sam Garans, Sam Gerans, and another liar who's trying to say it's something, trying to say, oh, Mecca's over here. It's some ancient historical site. These liars can say whatever they want. To me, I just call them a liar to declare something like that and say this is actually an ancient, where the ancient prophet Muhammad was here in ancient Arabia. Well, anyway, let's have a look at the finished products again. So now what you can see is that you're told these temples are ancient. Then you are told, yes, these hieroglyphics are ancient. This is what they're telling you. Since when? Since when? You understand? And then you expect me to believe it. And then here is a picture, I'm not sure, I think 1950s or 60s. So as you can see, at that time there was less tourists. Look at this man there. Yes, he was probably one of the workers doing the last finishing touches. Have a look at the carvings. They look brand new. Look at this ancient Egyptian hieroglyphic things. They look brand new. Yes? Can you see it? I've sent you another picture. It's brand new. And what are people going to say? I had a big problem with Muslims last week on my Facebook. Many Muslims from Egypt and everywhere. I had to block them. They were like, attacking me and many things, and saying, "Hey, this is our history. It proves what do you call it? Yes, the Prophet Moses, this, that." Hey, the historical evidence shows that they falsified a lot of the things in Egypt. Yes, some of the hieroglyphics are actually older, but they're not ancient. They're from the Middle Ages. Some of the things Professor Fomenko pointed out. And a lot of it is just like blatant forgery for money. So now the thing is, inside this Seti's temple or Satan's temple. Satan's temple. Let's have a look at this Satan's temple. So I put this in my book and showed, but there's, of course, people are saying they're reconstructing. One, the temple isn't there in the first place. Two, they've just built it. Three, these people have got bowls and they're just decorating the place. Yes, we'll go through the decorations and you're going to think, oh my God, I can't believe it. And as you'll see, I think that you'll see their colonial masters. Yeah, you'll see, what do you call it, somebody who's watching there, he's got a shirt, whereas everybody else is wearing that white fabric. You won't understand what this white fabric is, yeah, because some people are going to be there saying, why are they wearing white clothes? Maybe it's historical, maybe it's this, it's that. No, it's not. There's something else going on. I've explained this in my book, The Mud Flood. It will divert, so I'm not going to go there right now. Yes, why were they wearing white especially? So anyway, they're decorating the place, and then there's many other photos of in many of these hallways and rooms in these buildings that all you can see that what do you call it? They've brought in the tables, they've brought in the paint and other things to do the carvings and decorate the walls. Can you see it? Yes. So
This
can you
almost
see it?
looks
Not
like a
only that.
workshop, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, they're working on the walls. Yes. They're working on the walls. They're not writing books. And have a look. Yes, because many of these men, because don't forget in them days, you had to stay at these locations. You can see the stone in the background. You can even see there's a table covered that one of these colonial workers, he was living with his wife and his children. They were rich for that time. They're not working. They're traveling. They're having a good time. Other people in Europe and whatever are struggling. So now back to Satan's temple where Osiris was born. Satan, Seti the First. Yes. Oh, this history is so true. Now look at this place, the finished products. Can you see it? And as you will notice, if you look carefully, yes, many people think, oh, they're amazing hieroglyphics. But the moment you look more carefully, you can see the fraud, that because they had these Bedouins from the desert, slaves, the slaves did the work. The peasants, how dare they rebel and protest? We shall deal with them immediately. Just look at the wall carefully. I've enlarged it. Can you see? Many of them are just repeats. Can you see it? It's because they thought, we got to fill the space. Hurry up, peasant, slave, hurry up. Give him a few beatings, lashes. So what they did is, can you
But
see,
what
they
this
just repeat.
finally would explain is the strange disjointedness of the development of perspective in art. Because I always looked at these and I was like, why is it just like this 2D style? Like, how, it never made sense to me in terms of the development of art. And this explains it, of course, if they just
Yeah,
used whatever template to forge a supposedly
yeah, and
ancient culture.
yeah, to fill the walls. Now look at the bottom. So at the bottom you can see, hey, they've just repeated, copy, repeat, nothing. And for a bit in the middle, so that the tourists will come, they'll say, there's an ancient story here. This is the story of the gods. And the gods came down
And
upon
especially
earth.
if they made some mistakes, or like you said, they were just quickly finishing it. Maybe it didn't even make any sense, but later on you can
Yes,
make up anything you
yes,
want. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Is it Raphael? I'll tell you. It's like what do you call it? You know, I remember when we were in high school saying, "Hey, that girl's not playing ball." We brought her a Valentine's card. We gave her flowers. We did everything. Let's see what scam we're going to do. Like the movies. It's like these, American dramas and the movies. That's what it's like. Like Back to the Future. Marty McFly is planning with George, saying, "Hey, George, how are you going to brainwash Lorraine? Hey, George," saying, "Did you ask her to go to the enchantment and do the sea dance? Hey, George, do your hair, do this. Hey, send the flowers, make sure it's there on time." You got to do things. So now let me just show you. So here's the middle section. What they've done, somebody's going to say, "Oh my God, they must have had some ancient bug there. Look on the left-hand side." They'll say maybe that's like some robot like R2D2 from Star Wars. Oh, they had these kind of alien things. Oh, they had this, they had that. And they had this and that. Grow up. People should just grow up. They've invented half these things, and a lot of the symbols actually resemble Arabic. Yes, but of course it's in a land where where Arabic is the language and the alphabet. So what do you expect? So they've just put a few of these stories in. They'll say, this is to show that the people love the gods so much. The gods were traveling in the stars, blah blah blah, and he's coming back from the dead and all that. Ha! Come on, it's just fake.
But
It's just
what
garbage.
I just have to point out, I mean, I was aware for a long time that mainstream Egyptology is a fake and a scam, or yeah, is a racket basically. However, with this, you have to consider not only in mainstream, but in a huge array of so-called alternative media and research and so
Yes,
on, they
it's
all
it's all a
come back to the pyramids and are like, oh, look at this and look at that. And maybe
yeah.
all of that work
Look at
is
these
based on
megaliths.
a
How could
forgery.
they have moved this? How could they have done this? These people have no brains. And then, I've said a few things. People who haven't read my books are coming on and saying, "Oh, David's done this, David's done that." Get lost. I told you, stop watching my videos. You're only coming because you want to know something. And of course, because they're so dumb, some of these people, I haven't finished writing all my books. I'm still making more videos because there's more information. So some of these people, yeah, they'll say, "Hey, David mentioned Egypt before. Why didn't he mention it before?" It's because maybe I couldn't fit the information in. You can't fit it in 2 hours. You can't do it in some of these books, the number of pages. I can't do everything at the same time. Then I've got hundreds of people, are coming, harassing me on Facebook. Like I got 1,000 messages just last week. You won't believe it. A
Wow.
thousand. 1,000. So the thing is, I have to ignore so many. And the thing is, and then you see these Tataria groups and other things. Yeah, they're just sharing all this garbage. And many of these people I'm looking, I think, what the hell is wrong with these people? So have a look inside these temples. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. And then there's going to be people who are insisting, saying, "But no, David. Oh, no. Yeah, it's been known for a long time. They couldn't have faked this placard." Yeah, the ancient Egyptians, they must have known. It's thousands of years old. Helicopters, submarines, airplanes, blah, blah, blah. Can you see it? The was yours. I'm stupid dumb. What about you? So now let me just show you. They had so many slaves, and many of them were children and everything. And as you can see, these people, yes, they didn't really have an education. I'm not going to lie. And what they did was they preserved the Quran in these prison camps, or whatever. Yeah, they're like concentration camps. Yes. So they preserved the Quran. They knew what was going on. But let me just show you. Egypt in let's show you, because they're still doing the construction. These photos are from the 1930s. Yes, in the 1930s and 40s, the European, how did the colonials get to these sites? This is how they came. So now what do we see? Yes, we see these things actually in the drawing. Yes, the same planes that they
Oh
used.
my
You
God.
will,
Oh my God.
yeah. Oh wait. Yes. Yes. It's because what they saw. And then the thing is, many people think helicopters were used, in the 1960s and 70s. No, they weren't. I put it there. They were even used in World War II. Yes. So the thing is, they'll say, we got a helicopter here, guys. Yes. Are you beginning to see now? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, in case I got this ready today because I know there's going to be some evil people or monkeys. I call them evil because they're so lazy they won't do research themselves. And the thing is, I wrote my books, and then they're going to say he's promoting his books. Write your own, or don't come and listen to mine. Oh, you're coming because you know I'm saying something important, and I've pointed something out that you couldn't find because you were stupid, dumb, or lazy, which is a fact. Well, anyway, the thing is, people can go and check this out themselves. Yes, I'm enlarging it because some of these dummies, I call it, yes, are so lazy and everything. Yes, and the thing is, yes, there were actually helicopters used in World War II in the 1940s. Yes, so and in the 1940s, they were still building these sites. The British occupation didn't leave at the time. And then you'll say, hey, we can see so these helicopters, but we can also see airships, like an airship or something. Oh, duh. Yeah, airships were around in them days. So what these people did, they copied it, they drew a few crazy things, and then probably, let's say you and me are the managers, and we said, hey, make this look a bit like the symbol for pi or something. Oh, just put this there, make it look like some beetle or something, or some frog. And then we'll have these people trying to guess what it is, and then they're going to come to our site because they're mystified. They're going to think there's some ancient technology here or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, and they'll think, hey, this must be something amazing or wonderful or something amazing. Any questions, Raphael? That is such a big thing that I've gone through today, the megaliths.
Yes,
Any questions?
well, I think you explained it well that simply by having it constructed in the 1900s, of course, we had this type of technology, maybe even a bit earlier, so it's easy to put it in. The other thing that you answered, I think, which many people often are asking about, is where did they get all these stones from? And you said it's maybe a
No,
faraway place, but you had some railways simply, or
you can just you're not they've dug into the ground at that site. Yeah, that's why I think, are
right.
people dumb or something? Wait, let me just show. Yeah, I'm glad you asked this question
So
for
there
the
was
dummies.
enough stones just below their feet,
No, no, no,
basically.
they're not stones. Wait, let me just show you, and then you'll think, it's because nobody has ever seen when you mix together cement and other stones and everything. Many people haven't seen it, and so because or they haven't even studied online, they could find cement mixers, how to make blocks. There's videos on YouTube. So now have a look at this place. They've dug this place underground. Yes, a lot of it. It's not at ground level. Can you see? Even the
Right.
top of the temple, yes, over there, they've dug it out. So what they did is they reused the materials. That's all they did. And many of the things you carved them on the site. That's the thing. So now let me just show, because there are going to be some monkeys and some people who are going to be barking loud. And they're going to say, oh no, the pyramid blocks are so big, they couldn't. Oh no. Yeah. So, like I said, if people imagine this, yes, there is my book there. And if you're lazy and you haven't read it, I can't do anything because my videos are about my books. My videos are about my books, and I've said this before. Yes, even when Andreas said, he used to always say, hey, I'm interviewing you because we are books. So this information is in this book, and it goes into more details of the politics and everything else, the money and everything of what's going on. And in the same way that they created ancient Egypt, they invented, what do you call it, ancient Jerusalem. Yes, in the same way, and the politics and the plots. So the thing is, I've written the book Jerusalem is in Europe to show that they invented the place and they invented the history. Yes, and because my books don't have all the details, Professor Fomenko goes into more detail, and the rest, use a bit of your own brain and do a bit of your own research. Yes, guys. Yes. Yeah, so people can do this. So now let me just show you something about the pyramids, and then you will think, oh my God, yes, this is just so shocking. Yeah, it's like it's so shocking that the thing is, because all these people have said to me, no, David, no. Oh, no, my best friend, no, no, David,
But then, just to be
no.
clear, because the Great Pyramid is especially popular, so you would say that also the particular
Popular.
alignment.
Okay, okay. Alignment. Let's have a look at this bottom. Look at that picture. What does that teach you about the alignments? I'll go there in a minute. What is that showing you? These so-called big blocks. Nobody can move. No, we don't
Yeah,
know how they did it. And
unless
then,
unless
like,
it's a giant on the right-hand side, they're not that big.
yeah. Wait. So those blocks, and then we can see here. What do we see here in Egypt? Yes. What do we see? What is the difference between both these? They're both supposed to have elements of granite in them. What's the difference? What is the difference? And then you're going to say aliens built it? Yeah. All those people who've been saying all these things and they've deceived people, if by now you've turned around and think, oh my God, I've just realized I was wrong, then you have to share this, because all the people you deceived and all these people who are thinking of aliens, Anunnaki, and all these strange things that they're doing, what do you call it, alien worship or something, all these people who are having sleepless nights and everything, people don't know what to do. So the thing is, you misled many people. You understand? Yes?
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like, what do you call it? Let me just show you. Yeah. Let me just show you, and this shows you. This will show you what has actually happened to the world. The world has turned ridiculous. It's actually just so funny that what do you call it? Yes. You must have seen that Jim Carrey. Yeah. With with children watching television in some movie or something. I can't remember which one it is, and they've got some metal things on their heads, like they've gone crazy about aliens or something. But it's a funny picture, but I can't find it. If I found it, I would have sent it, because many of these people, they've spread misinformation. Oh no, they've spread true information, because according to official history, it's true, those buildings are thousands
Right.
of years old. And many people are commenting, oh no, maybe they're 30,000 years old, a million years
Yeah.
old, they're so old, we can't believe it. What's wrong with you guys? Don't you guys even use a bit of a brain? And then the thing is, I've seen these type of people work. I've done the construction myself, because there are some donks, yeah, woof, yeah, who are saying, "Oh, David didn't do any of these construction work or anything." Yeah, let me just show you. So I had construction workers, and I've done many projects, not one or two. And for that project that I specifically showed today, and that building was when it was finished. Let me just show you. If I have a finished picture here, let me get it out, and then wait 1 minute. Let me get it out, and then I'll show you the finished product. It's because I did these construction projects, so I saw it, how the workers work without the safety regulations and things in Europe, and not based per hour and other things. It's a difficult job. Yes, and the thing is, they work 12 hours, sometimes even up to 15 hours, depending on the day, and then the amount of work that they do. It's like it's just shocking. And the thing is, that's what we did in 19th century Europe. Yes. So the thing is, what do you call it? So these are pictures from back in the day. This was the government gave land free in Morocco, and the thing is, you will notice that I've got arrows pointing to people's houses on the street, because I was supporting people on that street, and I helped many people to finance the construction of their homes. So that's why I've got the. This is already here from before. Yeah, this is from several years ago, but I'm trying to see the finished product. Yeah, the finished product of that building. The building was finished. Wait, let me just see. Ah, I can't find the picture, so I've got it on a video. I'll send you a screenshot of the video, or some of these people who think they're barking very loud, yes, who want to talk about other people for no reason. Yeah, let them
Yeah,
talk.
and again, I just
Yes.
like to point out that there is so much relevant information that I'm wondering why anybody would not focus on the content first, and that's always a red flag. So very simple.
It's what the world is like. Yes, the world is like that. Yeah, I just call people, pathetic. Yeah, people are pathetic, but what can you do? Yes. So here, yes, the thing is, this building, yes, this building was, yeah, as you'll see, this is from a video. I've taken a screenshot. Yeah, and it's because I've opened up the video. Yes, you can see it's from my screen. It's a video. I've just taken a screenshot. This building, I finished it 2019, just up to 2020, and the family was poor. Half the family was living outside, so I finished off 2 floors. I arrived and I just helped them. So the thing is, that was the building. Let me see. I've got more pictures of this building. Yeah, because I made many videos. I stayed there at the time while the construction was happening. Yeah, I stayed there. It was, some of the best times in my life. Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, things that I like. Well, anyway, that's enough. Yeah, so now there is a very big question. Many people insist that ancient Egypt is actually America. But what we have to actually think is the British, they're in Australia, the British were in China, the British were in India, the British were in Canada. Yes, but who were the British? Yes, when the British got invaded by William of Orange, another fake character, in 1688. At that time, mysteriously, the Turks and the Russians invaded Vienna. This story is in my book, The Last Crusade. Yes, the thing is, but at that time, the East India Company funded the invasion of Britain. Yes, Indian shareholders. Many people seem to think it's European, but that's another long story. But the thing is, if ancient Egypt, if part of it was America, or if it is America, now we have another problem. It's because I saw there are idiots who don't do proper research, and they're just going to say something like, for example, they'll say, David pointed out the coins have got Arabic. Yes, the coins are everywhere. David pointed out the swords have got Arabic. And they're saying, it's flimsy. It's not enough. Yeah, fair point. Good point. But it's not flimsy. It's a major thing. Yes, it's like this. We can turn around and say, hey, we got iPhones in America, or just because they're made in China, does that make them Chinese? No, they're European, they're American. Yes. So the thing is, a lot of the gold came from, let's say, Central Asia or Africa or South America. That doesn't mean the coins are, Brazilian coins, or they're coins from Congo. Yes. Or from Afghanistan. Yes. Which
Right.
that's what they're going to say. Yes. So now this is very important. This is to do with America. Now people will say, why is he talking about this if it's to do with America? Yes, it's because I don't want to um, I don't want anybody to be misled. So let's go through this. So now the thing is, let's have a look at Europe during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. There's crusades. They've given the dates, 13th century, happening in France. Yeah, the Vatican invades France. Wait a minute, aren't the crusades supposed to be fighting these desert people and things like this? No, Pope Innocent, he wasn't innocent. He's just invaded France. Yes. Now, the thing is, the history of the popes are a lie. Now, the thing is, it's very important. People won't understand the Crusades unless if they really have a look at Professor Anatoly Fomenko's work. Now, I support Anatoly Fomenko's work in the fact that he's shown that the history is a lie. He's tried to do history reconstruction based on the documents that these fake historians have written, and he's wrote question marks. He's not fixed it. He's not said this is exactly what's happened. he said this is what they have written down. Like, for example, when he turns around and shows that this certain incident happened here, and at the same time they wrote down in their documents, let's say Middle Ages document, and then they're pretending it's happened thousands of years ago, and they said, hey, this comment went past, or there was the conjunction of these planets. So based on these calculations, we've got a few dates of when that document was written. That doesn't actually mean that event happened. Then Fomenko actually says these things, but no, some people are trying to say he's fixed history. He hasn't. He's left question marks. What he's done is similar to what I'm doing, saying, hey, this history doesn't make sense. We can see that they made many of these buildings in Egypt from the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, and then they changed a lot of things. Some of the hieroglyphics are old, some of them they've updated it, some of them are totally fake, and then there's fake translation. So he's pointed these things out, and I don't see that he's done anything wrong. So now the book The Last Crusade goes through this in more detail. If you haven't read it, it's because I'm giving interviews about my books. Yes. So now there is somebody who's going to say, hey, he's promoting his books. What do you want me to do? Promote my bathroom? You know what I mean? Of course, I'm going to promote my books. So some people will say some dumb, crazy things. So it's in that book, and also the book Skull and Bones, to show what the Vatican did. And the Vatican came from the Middle East. Of course, they're going to come. Europe was beautiful. Yes, but you know, many historians say no. The other side of the world was beautiful, and Europe wasn't. But they're lying. So let's have a look. So now all over Europe, let's have a look at Bohemia. For no reason, the whole of Europe was invaded. We're talking about Bavaria, Czech Republic, the Hussites, you know, Slovakia, Austria, Switzerland. There's crusades happening there. Yeah, it's because they weren't Christian. They were forced into it. Yes. So let's have a look. When people say Spanish Inquisition, they gave the name on purpose. They want you to think of Spain. No, it wasn't in Spain. It was in the United States. It was in Canada. It was in Mexico. Yes, it was in Peru. It was in Uruguay. It was in Paraguay. It was in Argentina. It was in Chile. So you have to look at this globally. So the Spanish Inquisition, yes, was in Holland in the 16th, 17th century. They're just chopping heads, burning people alive, killing people, saying, hey, you must obey the Son of God. Yes, or you must obey the God himself. And the Vatican declared, you know, the Pope declared that he was God. So the thing is, you know, there was inquisitions in Holland, inquisitions in England, inquisitions in Germany. There were invasions, regular crusades. Yes, many people are not aware of these things, but you know, I've done these screenshots. They can check Wikipedia. Inquisitions in Germany, everyone knows this. West Germany, in Rhineland, 13th century. Yeah, they were still happening in the 16th, 18th century. You know, this is official history. They can't hide it because there's too much history there. All these skulls and bones in churches. Yes, you know, when the Vatican armies killed them, they just buried them in the churches. Yes, so it was normal practice to have crusades against the Holy Roman Empire every year. We're talking for 500 years or 1,000 years. The Pope. Yes, you know, your dad was doing all of
whether
this.
this history is exactly right or not, it is the template for what they then said was the Romans against the barbarians, right? Where they say they fought
Yes,
every
they called them
summer.
barbarians. Yeah, they called them animals. Europeans were animals. The Middle East was civilized, and Christianity came from there. Whereas the truth is, they were the barbarians. They were just attacking Europe. They invaded. They've taken over. This is why we have the global New World Order. Yes, and so the thing is, let's go through more of this. And for example, so as they took over, I mentioned the Farhan family, the Farnese or the Firaun. So that's why in Germany, as they took over, they set up these barons or these rich people, or they're actually called Farhan. Yeah, Farhan. You can see. In modern German, you will pronounce it Freiran, 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 or
What?
Farhan.
Are you serious? Freiherr. This comes from Ferran.
Yeah, the word Führer means pharaoh.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Führer.
because Frei, no, what there are two differences because Freiherr or Baron. So Freiherr would be the same as a baron. But you say Freiherr
Yes,
also refers to
I will
Farhan?
explain to you how
Okay,
it
yeah.
works. It's like when somebody says, you know, Ben Joseph in Israel, or Ben Yusuf in Morocco, or or Petrovna or Petrovna in Russia, or when you say what do you call it? You will say von Joseph in
Hmm.
Germany or van Joseph in Holland. So it shows that this has the original Arabic language, original Arabic roots. Yes. So then when you say Faran in the Arabic, the old Arabic, yes, it becomes Varan in let's say in many Western European languages, and then from Baron to Baron, 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 Faran, Baron,
Hmm.
Baron. You see, in English it becomes Baron, Baron. Yes, so the barons, these barons, they financed the Israelite school and things like this. But they became the German nobility, whoever joined the Vatican. Remember, the Vatican had to make contracts. This was in a previous video where we showed where Machiavelli condemned the Pope and said, look, you're weak. You need allies. You can't do this on your own. You've invaded Europe. So to take over Europe, we're going to need allies. So then the thing is, when you look at the thing is, there was Germany mysteriously became known as the land of Persia or Perussia, Persia, Farsa, yeah, Farsi. So then they're going to turn around and tell us that what you call it, Farsi is an Indo-Aryan language or Iranian. Yes, but I'll go through it next time. The forgery of the Farsi language in Iran. Yeah, that 10% or 20% of the words even used today in Iran are actually French or Franco-German, West German, and Eastern France. Yes, so the thing is, this Farsi is important because Fars comes from Farasha, Faran. Yes, Persia or Prussia or Persia. Yes, so now we've got this mysterious land in Germany. It mysteriously becomes called Prussia. So now what we have to know is this. Europe mysteriously had millions of Arabic books. Europe did. Now, this is in my books in more details. Yeah. So what they started doing is they went door to door, Holland, Inquisitions, crusades in Switzerland, Austria, Spain, Portugal, Holland, England, Germany, you name it. Yes, Czech Republic, Slovakia. What they were doing is they were confiscating Arabic books, Arabic Qurans in Europe. In Europe. So that means this book must have been widespread, and all the original Arabic manuscripts were getting confiscated and burnt. And then as we get to, they're going to say it's the 15th century, 16th century, but it's more like the 18th to 19th century, because that's when we can see people crossing the border over from Spain to Morocco, European Spaniards. Yes, that at the fall of Spain, they burnt 1 million books just in the final city called Granada. Yes, this is in my books, and people will find it. Yes. So the thing is, now what's this got to do with America and ancient Egypt? So then there is more. So what they tell us is some other stupid story. There was an empire of the Mongols. Yes, and the Mongol Empire ruled half of Europe, or they were invading Germany, going down to Italy, invading the Balkans, and they were everywhere. Their empires were temporarily here and there. That they ruled eventually. That map is from the 13th century. They eventually took over India. They took over Egypt. They took over many of the lands. But what we know is that Mongolia is a fake, that we can't even find it, that even in the early 20th century, Ulaanbaatar looks like the people have just arrived, wooden huts as the Russians, yes, turn it into a settlement, and there's not, even today, there's not enough population. So what they tell us is that in Europe, they had millions of Arabic manuscripts, but they say they're not European, or they came from Baghdad or somewhere pathetic like this. They say more than half were from Europe. Yes, they say sometimes, but other historians, they try to say it came from Baghdad mixed with Farsi or Persian or Prussian or Prussian. So they're claiming that this old Farsi documents, when you have a look at it, it's like 80% Arabic. Yeah, so it's not even Persian. So they're telling us some garbage story. Yes, 1 million Mongols, 1 million. They seem to have marched or walked from Mongolia. Do you know how far that is, guys? It's not even the distance Napoleon marched to Moscow, the fake history that they've said, but start coming and walking from from these deserts of Mongolia. We're talking deserts here, yes, and you're coming from the cold deserts, minus 50 degrees, and all this for several months of the year, and they're just coming, and they're going to say 13th century. century, they sacked Baghdad, they burnt it. That's why we can't find any evidence of this Arabic civilization over there, apart from a few fake things that they've got there. So they're going to say these Mongols came, they sacked it, they burnt all the libraries, you know, thousands or millions of books and everything. But anyway, so now let's come back to Europe. So now on the other side of the world, there's no Mongols, but the Vatican's walked in. Same thing, skulls and bones, they buried people arrived. Here, just in the last city in Europe where they were still using Arabic, they claim it's the 15th century, but it's more like 18th century. Yes, when we see that people are saying we can't understand what happened, there's mud floods and something is wrong. Yes, people won't understand this if they don't read my book Mud Flood, that there is something wrong with the 18th or 19th century. Yes, and the thing is, there's something wrong that they can find it in the Mud Flood book, and there is something wrong. I go through the entire century in the book. Napoleon did not exist. Yes, that they say there was a Napoleon in the 1870s, and there was another one 80 years before him. It's like there's something wrong with the full century that they've added on 50, 60, or 70 years, or something. There's something wrong, that they're hiding something happened in the 18th, 19th century. Yes. So the thing is, and we see all these cities burnt out and everything. But anyway, so the thing is, what the hell are they doing that they're burning 1 million Arabic books? Then they're going around door to door, and they're doing this throughout America. Yes, Arabic books were getting banned in America. America? Why would Arabic books be already there if Columbus didn't discover it around the same time, 1492? Yeah, similar dates. Yes, so the thing is, they're looking for Arabic books and they're burning Arabic books in America at the same time, which doesn't make sense. So now the thing is, what we will find is that there's something strange. Let's go through this, because there's many printed books after they burnt the originals. Yeah, they mysteriously say the printing press turned up in the 16th century. Yes, wide scale, 15th, 16th, 17th century. And then the thing is, this is what the official history they're going to tell us. Yes, the first books printed in the Persian language using Arabic, yeah, were published in Europe. Excuse me? Huh?
Oh, mhm.
Yeah, but they're actually, it's not actually Persian. It's like you can turn around and say there's American books and there's Australian books. So this is actually Arabic, but just a different dialect. Same like the Old Testament. I've explained this in my books. I mean, Jerusalem is in Europe. I've explained it there very clearly to show that what do you call it? Yes, that Hebrew is just a different font handwriting of just an Arabic dialect. Same like there's English and there's American and things like this. Yes. So if you haven't read it, I can't do anything. So now they're printing Persian books in Europe. Yes. Why the hell are you going to print Persian books 500 years ago? And let's see what Europe looked like 500 years ago. Yeah, and then you'll turn around and think, hey, it just doesn't make sense that they're printing Persian books, yes, for what do you call it, yes, and they're trying to tell us what do you call it, they're probably going to export them when there's no roads, no nothing, and they're having serious crusades, you know, fighting against the Holy Roman Empire and things like this. And what we're told is that in Europe, yes, people lived in pathetic conditions, like peasants. Let me just see that there's peasant revolts and everything. Europe's just you know, the history that they tell us, that it's like poor, it's a joke, like the pictures that we're seeing in Egypt and things like this. What do you call it? Let me just find it, and then 15th century, because people have to actually think of this, or otherwise they're not going to be able to imagine it. Why the hell are you going to be printing Persian books in Europe? Yes, when people in Europe are living in huts and all this thing made of straw and everything. These things are actually in my books, but let me see to describe it. So the people in Europe are actually living like this, and they're trying to tell us, what do you call it, that in the 15th century, they're printing Persian books in Arabic books, you could say, but they're burnt the originals. What's going on here? More like they're printing forgeries. Yes. So now there is another thing. So when you turn and say, what are these millions of pages of Persian books doing in Europe? Millions of pages, and in America, by the way, I will go through this in a minute. There's millions of pages of Persian and Arabic books, Arabic basically, in Europe and America, and not in the Middle East. People don't know this. Forget the coins. So now they say some of these manuscripts may have been purchased in Iran, but in Europe they were printed. So they claim that they came from the originals. Why will you go in the 15th century and go and buy these Arabic manuscripts to Iran and Saudi Arabia and Egypt when you're burning them in Europe? Does that make sense to you?
No, only in the way you described, yeah. It's very strange.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So now the thing is, Persia was Prussia. Prussia, Persia. They've just changed the spelling, and they're telling us, oh, no, 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 these manuscripts came from the Middle East. They actually came from Germany.
Okay.
Germany and Europa was Araba, Arabia Europa, like I explained this in previous videos. Yes, so now let's go through this a bit more. And then do you know what they're exactly going to tell us in official history? So let's see, what do they exactly say? So in Europe, when the printing press came, at that time, printing presses were producing millions of pages of books in Latin, and they were translated from Greek, yes, Hebrew, Arabic, and other classical languages like Hebrew, Arabic, Persian, Farsi, and all this. Now, Hebrew, my books explains it. It's just Arabic, different fonts, handwriting, and many of them are actually not even a different font. It's exactly the same. The majority are actually in the Arabic font. Yes, and the Greek manuscripts, we can't find the originals. They say that these documents that were allegedly in Greek were actually in Arabic, because they turn around and say that, they claim it was originally, what do you call it? Yes, Greek. Yeah, because they will say it's in Arabic. Yes, but they will say it's Greek. What they will turn around and say, what do you call it? The Arabs translated Greek manuscripts from thousands of years ago. That's what they will say. And then they will say these same Arabic manuscripts from Arabic were then translated into Latin. Yes, but they printed these Latin Arabic ones too. But no, 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 no. They brought these Arabic manuscripts from the Middle East, but the European Arabic manuscripts, they're burning millions of them in the same century. Does that make sense to
Mm.
you? And then they'll say, oh, they're Greek manuscripts, but wait a minute. They're not Greek. They're actually in Arabic writing, which they claim came from ancient Greece thousands of years ago. You see? And then when we go through it, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yes, the actual history. Yes, let's see what they will say. The first book in Arabic was published in Italian town, the Farnese. And but during those times, Arabic and Farsi were published in Venice, Rome, Vienna. What the hell's going on? Usually books that merchants and missionaries could make use of. Oh, yeah, they're invading Germany at the time. There's crusades all over Europe. And then do you know what they were saying? They're saying, yeah, they had printing machines in the Muslim world, yes, in the 15th century, but those books were managed by Greeks, Armenians, and Jewish community, and they printed books in their own language, but with the Arabic alphabet, which doesn't make sense. The entire history is just a fraud and a lie. Yes, and then they're saying, what do you call it? At the bottom, two lines, they're saying, what do you call it? European books, you can't exactly sell them. They only allowed you to sell a few books in Arabic, Farsi, and Turkish. Well, Turkish was 80% Arabic at that time anyway. So it wasn't Turkish. It's same like saying American is 80% English. Yeah, Australian is 80% English. So it's actually Arabic with the Arabic handwriting and everything. They were published in Europe. Oh, they were published in Europe, but hey, the Muslims have got their own printing machines. But then the Europeans are burning the Arabic manuscripts. But then they go back to the Muslims and say, hey, can you give us a manuscript? We're going to print this. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah,
No.
totally
It
looks
means
like
that,
a reset. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a total lie. And then the dates are not 15th or 16th century, because do you know what we find? That even until the 17th century, 17th, 18th century, Arabic was still the global international language, and it was particularly popular in Europe. Yes, that they were printing millions of pages in Europe in Arabic, and people could read and write in Arabic. We're talking the middle and the upper class. That what you call it, Latin had not taken over, and they're translating these Arabic manuscripts into Latin. They call it Farsi or Turkish or whatever. Yes, yeah, and everybody knows this. It's common knowledge. Let me just show you that up until the 17th, 18th century, yes, European interest in the pursuit of the Arabic language, where it was like a major thing. Yes, Arabic was a major thing. So we're going through it, and then what they turn around and say, what do you call it? So the European languages only took over. We can't find people speaking English before the 18th, 19th century, or French or Italian or anything. That all these manuscripts in Italian and things, they're forgeries, they're printed after the 18th century. So the thing is, then they say the evolution of Arabic writing during European influence. It's like Arabic was already in Europe. And in previous videos, we showed that nobody speaks this classical Arabic in the Middle East at all. Even today, they learn it in school. It's a second language, like we learn French in England, and German and Spanish as a second and third language. Arabic is not their language. Arabic came from Europe, the evidence shows. That we've got millions of pages of manuscripts in Europe and America, and they don't seem to have them in the Middle East. Yes, and then the thing is, then there is the other strange thing. Yeah, they did have some printing, but only a few printing things in the Middle East. And then people are asking, why were there no printing presses in the Middle East until 4 centuries after Europe? We're talking no proper ones until the 19th century. Yes, printing of Arabic and all these things. Yes. So the thing is, why did Europe have these millions of European Arabic books? It just doesn't make sense. That the thing is, they say that the Muslims had them, but it's a lie, because the thing is, when we go, that even the local people, they're asking questions. Yes, Arabic printing started only 200 years ago in Syria. Yes, Arabic language, and the people couldn't speak it. Yes, and the basic printing we're talking, it's like same like you're going to open your own mobile phone, factory in your city. It's like it just doesn't make sense. And then another thing is, where you can't find it in the Middle East. You will find throughout Europe and America, people have got millions of pages of Arabic manuscripts in museums and collections in Europe and America. It just doesn't make sense. That you can go to Morocco and say, how many of these ancient manuscripts do you have? You don't have them. Or Sudan, and we did this in the previous 2 videos, the fake history of Africa. They put these manuscripts there because they didn't have them in these African countries, Morocco, Mali, Mauritania, yes, and all these other places. They don't have them. So now let's go to the United States. This is going to be very shocking, because people are asking, what is the history of the United States? Yes, people have asked, and they said, David, you haven't gone through it. It's not just coins. We're talking millions of pages of books. People are studying this language like we study English in school because we speak English here. They studied Arabic in Europe because they spoke the classical Arabic, the language of the Quran. It was not just normal Arabic. So now what I'm going to go through this now, it just doesn't make sense. Here, the University of Victoria, Macpherson Library in America, it doesn't make sense that they've got these Arabic manuscripts, Quran manuscripts and other things, and all these other things, that are supposed to be, 1,000 years old or many centuries old in America, in the University of Victoria, Macpherson Library. I've mentioned 6 here. Now, Indiana University, 53 manuscripts. Yes, and it just doesn't make sense in Arabic. Yes, we're not going to find so many when we go through all these hundreds of cities throughout the Middle East. I'm not just talking about the big places like Fez or Casablanca or Algiers or Oran or Tunis, or like the 10, 20 big cities in the Middle East. Let's go through the United States. This is so shocking. Cleveland Museum. Yeah, 86 manuscripts, Islamic Arabic manuscripts. What the hell are they doing there? Yes, yeah, can you see it? Many of these manuscripts, they call them leaves because they're leaf books made of leaves, and codexes. Los Angeles County Museum of Art, yes, has got 250 codexes of manuscripts in Arabic. What the hell is going on here? And what we know is, if anybody reads my book, The Mud Flood, is Los Angeles earthquake. The city was wiped out, apart from a few buildings. Yes, yeah, 1905. Yes, so it just doesn't make sense. When did they get these manuscripts, hundreds of them, and everything? It just doesn't make sense. You know about the Los Angeles earthquake? Yes or no? Yes.
I know that
Yes.
there have been many, about this particular one, I only know that the location and so on, and the soil there is very strange by itself, or very
Yeah.
unstable, supposedly.
Yeah, well, here we'll show you a bit of an aerial view. It's in my book, Mudflood. If you haven't read it, you're not going to understand that half these cities that I'm talking about were destroyed. If you don't read that book, you won't know. I can't do anything, and don't try and figure things out, calculating it in your head. Yes, or read Flamenco's books, or do extra research, many hours. I've made it short and easy. It's in the book, The Mudflood. So what the hell is 250 codices of Arabic things doing in this Los Angeles County Museum? What is it doing there? Yes, and they're going to say they found it in the Middle East. Yeah, in the Middle East, we can't find it ourselves. Walter's Museum, I forgot where Walter's Museum is. I've just sent it to you now. Walter's Museum has 168 manuscripts. Yes, the thing is, what are these Arabic manuscripts doing there? Are they actually from the Middle East, or are they actually American manuscripts? Walter's Museum is in Maryland, Baltimore. What is it doing there in the middle of nowhere? You see, it just doesn't make sense. They're from the 9th century, 9th century through to the 19th century. Yeah, what are they doing here? Yes, yeah. So now let's go through more. Yes, I'm starting from the small museums. I'm going to get to the big ones. It's shocking. University of Pennsylvania. Yes, what do you call it? 70 codices and 54 volumes. Do you know how big a volume? It's, yes, 54 volumes of Arabic texts and 15 volumes of Persian text, which is Arabic anyway. What the hell are these volumes of doing there of Arabic manuscripts in the University of Pennsylvania in their museum or their library? What the hell is it doing there? How did it get there? Why are there? Or somebody's going to say he's talking about Arabic. Yes, the thing is, the thing is, they're not Vietnamese manuscripts. Why are they not, what do you call it, Italian manuscripts? Why are they not Slavic manuscripts? Why are they not Uzbek manuscripts? Why are they not ancient Swedish manuscripts? Why are they not Germanic manuscripts? Why are they not, what do you call it, ancient Spanish manuscripts? Why are they not ancient Angolan manuscripts, ancient manuscripts from Nigeria? I'm not trying to push an Arabic or Islamic agenda here. We're finding these millions of pages of Arabic manuscripts in Europe and America, which does not make sense. Yes, they're just going to say, we picked it up from the Middle East. Same like they're saying, oh, these pyramids and all these other buildings, all these hundreds and hundreds of ancient temples and everything, they're ancient. Oh, yeah. So now Brown University, yes, has got, what do you call it, 40 Quran manuscripts and 168 other manuscripts, over 200 Quran manuscripts. Oh, the database has got 200 Quran manuscripts and, what do you call it, from the 9th to the 16th century, all Middle Ages. Does this make sense? 200 Quran manuscripts? I won't find 200 Quran manuscripts from the 9th century in Casablanca. Casablanca is a big Islamic city in the Middle East. What the hell? And if we go to Baghdad, they're going to say, there isn't anything here. The Mongols burnt it. Huh? Wait a minute. Can you explain this, Raphael?
No.
It means that they're American manuscripts. By the way, Brown University is in Rhode Island. Yes, in the United States. Yes, and do you know what is Rhode Island?
Well, all I can say is there was one very good comment in one of your earlier videos by someone who said he asked a local who seemed to know everything as to what had happened with some kind of a, I guess, Starfort or castle, which was
Yeah.
officially consecrated by the Knights Templar or something in the early 20th century. And then this guy told him, well, actually, before, quote unquote, the Muslims were here. So, yeah, also
Yes.
pointing
And
towards
who
this
were the
idea.
Muslims? Yes, that's wait, I'll go through this and explain because many people think it's from the Middle East. I'm not pushing the Middle East. Rhode Island is actually New England. Yes, it's one of the first colonies or something. And then they tell you these people were like they were brought on ships, and the Puritans, and then other things. And I'll have to go through that next time and show that even on his sword was Arabic. There were actually people from England, Northern Europe, and many people who were already there. People won't understand this unless if they read my book. If you don't read it, you're not going to understand it. Don't try to guess it unless if you're going to study the actual history of the demographic changes in Europe, separating people into orphans in Europe, not the orphan trains in America. This is written in my book, Orphan Trains, but it goes through the separation of children and parents in the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th centuries in Europe. Yes, and in America, how they separated children. So when they turn around and say it was an Islamic civilization, it was white European, white American, and their civilization, not from the Middle East. So these manuscripts are there. We're talking in Rhode Island, in Brown University. Let's go through it again. In many of these Middle Eastern places, in the majority, we're not going to find 200 manuscripts from the 9th to the 16th century. Well, what are they going to say? All these people, they had so much money that they managed to buy all these manuscripts. The Muslims were handing over. They were just handing over, saying, "Hey, take it, don't worry, yeah, pay cash." So now I'm going to go and go to the next point, and you'll see the number of manuscripts increases as we check in many other places. Now, what is this? The American National Library of Medicine. Yeah, they've got 300 Persian Arabic manuscripts. Oh, by the way, of course, they've got more. The amount of manuscripts that they're going to declare, they've got more hidden because they don't want you to know. And of course, they're going to show the worst ones to show that the world was backwards in them days. And they'll say, look at this. And what do you call it? Yes, it was backward and we improved it. No, it wasn't. They've hidden the old ones. And the National Library of Medicine for the United States. It's a very important library. Yes. And what do you call it? Shall I show you? It's the world's largest biomedical library, etc., etc. And the thing is, it just doesn't make sense. We've got 300. Their oldest manuscripts are all Arabic. Yes. The thing is, and they'll say we got the knowledge from this Arabic civilization. And the thing is, they're going to say, oh yeah, we found it in the deserts. These people running around in the deserts, they had nothing to do, and we took it from them in the colonial times. Let me just show you. Yes, and they're just going to sell you some strange story, desert nomad Arabs. And they're going to say these people, they that even today that we can see that there's nothing there in these deserts, but they'll say, oh no, William whatever, or Sir whoever, or this and that people. Yes, they went to the deserts. Yes, and then they just took it back from these people, but stole it from these people. But and then when we look at these people, we can see that no way could these people have written these manuscripts. There were European manuscripts. The United States already had these amazing buildings. Many people have checked through this in Tartaria and everything. They're telling us it came from these people, yeah, who were easily enslaved. Yes, they didn't have the technology to even protect themselves from these empires or anything, that the history just doesn't make sense. So why is the National Library of Medicine, what's it doing with that? Let's keep going. Now, McGill University in America, yes? How many Arabic manuscripts do they have? And they're mostly the Quran, the Quran, the Quran. How many Arabic manuscripts?
Well, only they say 380 codices.
Yeah.
Mostly Quran.
Yeah, that's what. Yes, and where is it? It's in Montreal, McGill University, in case people don't know the location. It's in Quebec, in Canada. Yes, I'm talking about throughout North America, you're going to find these strange things. And that university only opened in 1813, and it didn't become like a proper university until the 20th century. Yes, and then the thing is, it's in Canada. So what are these Arabic manuscripts doing there? We can't even find so many Quran manuscripts in the Middle East. We can't find them. If we can, prove it. Yes, apart from, and then if you're going to say, hey, there's a few of these libraries. Oh yeah, the British and the French opened them in the colonial days. Yes. Oh, they put many of these Arabic manuscripts. And by the way, the local people can't even speak Arabic today, even today. They have to learn it. In Saudi Arabia, I'm talking about. Yes, in Egypt and everywhere else. So now let's go. Columbia University. Yes, 600 codices of manuscripts. Yes, 600 codexes of manuscripts. Yes, of Arabic manuscript. What the hell do you think is going on here? Yes, can you see it?
Yeah, well, if
Yes,
we follow the simple logic just as by the coins, it would strengthen the idea that Michelle Gibson has presented. She calls it the quote-unquote Moorish civilization, but that there was simply a, yeah,
wait. I will tell you now. When you say if somebody went to Morocco or somewhere and you heard their accent and how they pronounce it, yeah, Morocco, Muslim or Musa, Mors. It comes from the word Mos or from Moses or Moshe or the prophet Moses or the prophet Moshe. And so the thing is, when you say Muslim, yes, you know the Moors, Muslim. You can call it Moors, you can call it Arabic, like you can call it United States, you can call it America, you can call it New England. Same thing. You understand? So
hmm
the thing is, this civilization was actually European and American. It was not people from the Middle East. No, there is no evidence to show it's the current Arabic or their ethnicity or anything. But let's go to, this, what do you call it? Yes. This Columbia University codexes and the things. Let's have a look what they've got. They've got many of these books by, Shahnameh, the Book of Kings. Yes, Firdausi, yes, Hamza, Nizami, and all these other things, 15th century Islamic poets. Oh, by the way, many of these things, we can't even find them in the Middle East. Yeah, these so-called Persia or Prussian manuscripts. Prussia was Persia. Yes, these Persian manuscripts, Farsi, it's actually Germanic. They're actually American. It's the European American civilization. Yes. So now let's keep going. Yes. And you're right. Yeah, you can call it Moorish. I don't want to get into a debate. And the thing, it's like you can call it, like, for example, Russian. You can call it Slavic. Now in Russia, we have the same problem in Eastern Europe, throughout Eastern Europe. Same problem. Arabic writing, Arabic on the swords, Arabic on the manuscripts, Arabic this and that. It just doesn't make sense that we can see that there was a global Arabic civilization in the language of the Arabic Quran. It's not just an ordinary language. So now let's go through Freer and Sackler galleries. Let me just go to what is this, because yes, Freer Sackler Museum. Yes, it's what do you call it? Yes, where is this located? Yeah, Freer Sackler and Arthur, the Smithsonian National Museum of Asian Art. It's in Washington D.C. Now they're going to say we brought this back from the Middle East. Oh yeah, they've brought back, thousands of manuscripts mysteriously from the Middle East, but we can't seem to find these originals or anything anywhere in the Middle East. We can't seem to find them, guys. I can't find many of these manuscripts. I've looked. I'm going to keep looking for another 1,000 years and something, but we've got 1,200 manuscripts. Yes, and everything, and they're going to say it's from the 500 years old, 1,000 years old, some of the best in the world, and they're going to say it came from Iran, it came from Turkey, it came from Syria. But when we look at these places, like we went through, Imam Ali video, it's in one of your videos. It shows many of these places aren't there, and in my book Jerusalem is in Europe, it shows that Jerusalem, the one they're alleging, is not even there. The Muslims even call it Quds. Yeah, and they don't even call it Jerusalem. Like, for example, let's go to Palestinian universities, one of their major universities. Let's see what these Arabs say themselves. Of course, nobody wants to listen to them, and the New York Times is not going to accept what they say. Yes, but what do you call it? Let's see what they themselves say. Um, let's go through what they themselves say, and let me just go through. Yeah, we can open up, Palestinian blogs, newspapers, and the Palestinians themselves. They themselves will say that city is called Quds. It's not called Jerusalem. They say it. Yes, of course, they will know what their grandparents taught them. Yes, and great grandparents, because they've been having battles. Here, I've sent you another page, first paragraph. It says, my parents are from Arab Palestinian city of Al-Quds, not Jerusalem. Yes, they will tell you it's not Jerusalem. Let's see what they say here. Yes, of course, there's many Muslims who dispute this. Just go to Palestine or this, you want to call it Israel, call it whatever you want. Just go there, hold a poster outside the mosque and stand there and say, this is Jerusalem. Let's see if you don't end up in hospital. Yes, yes. So we can see this is Palestinians who are writing here, and they're writing Al-Quds is not Jerusalem. Yes. And they're saying the Middle East will, the colonial project and the fake identity and the fake name given that it's called Jerusalem, but they say this themselves. Yes. And the thing is, let's just go to, like, for example, there's many things these Arabs are writing it, and they write it in many places, and they say, hey, what do you call it? Al-Quds is not Jerusalem. Al-Quds is not Jerusalem. Yes. So you can see this. They say that's what it's called. Now let's go to, for example, let's see what they will say over there. There's many things. They've written many books and everything, because they want the world to know what they have to say. And of course, the New York Times denies it and says, hey, they're lying. The British Times, British Telegraph. But anyway, they say it's not Jerusalem. But let's have a look what these Palestinians have to say. Yes, Dar al Kalima University. Yes, is one of their major universities run by the Palestinian Ministry of Education. So now you can go to yes. So let's see more about this university. Yes. It's a real university. That's their webpage, Dar Al Kalima University. It's one of their major universities to learn master's degrees and things like this. And so now, when you go on their website, this is a Palestinian government university, and their official website. You can go there, and they say Quds is not Jerusalem. They're saying this also, not just Professor Anatoly Fomenko, not just me. Yeah, so if you want, you're welcome to go there. Stand there with a poster and holding it, saying, this is Jerusalem. Let me just show you what type of a poster you should hold if you think you know something and you want to dispute with them. Yes, yes, because there are many people who seem to think that, they seem to think that we know something. So, they're welcome to go to what is known as Israel or Palestine and what to do. What's that noise? I'm sure I heard some beep, 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 beep or something.
Yeah, I
Well,
think it was in
anyway,
your end, yeah. So I
yes.
don't know.
What people are welcome to do is what do you call it? Let me just show you, and what people are welcome to do. Yes, they're welcome to go there. Let me give them a great idea, because if they want to think that because I've been there myself, I interviewed many people, maybe even 100 people I've interviewed just in Jerusalem. I spoke to many people. Yes, and what do you call it? Yes. And the thing is, the story they told me, not even one person said to me that, what do you call it? This is Jerusalem. They used to say to me, this is not Jerusalem, this is Quds. And they said, hey, what do you call it? The European colonial people came, they came with guns and everything. So I advise if some people want to test, they're welcome to go on holiday there to what is known as modern Jerusalem and just make your own poster, stand there, yes, where people have lived there a lot longer. Yes, stand there where there is Temple Mount, where there is the Golden Dome or the Al-Aqsa Cathedral Mosque. Stand there and just put the words, "This is Jerusalem," okay? And then we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm sure the people will be very friendly and they'll have some advice for you and things to say. And please don't go on a day where there's where people are angry. Yes, try to go when there's less people to so that nothing just in case it's known that people get it very emotional over there. That's a clear thing. So anyway, let's get back to America. So the thing is, 1,200 manuscripts. What the hell are 1,200 Arabic manuscripts doing there? Yes, in America. Now let's go to across the border, across the Canadian border, and let's go to Toronto. Yes, what do we find here now? In Toronto, yes, we found roughly 1,200 manuscripts here in the university. And then our holdings include 800 bound manuscript volumes. Manuscript volumes, 800 volumes? That's so many, I don't even know. And what do you call it? Yes, includes, but includes, what do you call it? Including history, theology, and medicine in languages as diverse as, let's see what they have. Arabic is the first, then English, yeah, or maybe that's in our alphabetical order. English and French and German, Hebrew, Latin, and Persian. Yes, the main ones. Now, the Arabic, Hebrew, and the Persian are all using the same language with the same words. Now, the Latin came after. People will have to go through my books to understand this. And English, as only a language 200 years old, so is German. So now many of these Arabic manuscripts are from the Renaissance and older. What the hell are they doing there? I'm not sure about the exact number that's Arabic in there, but let's move on. Now let's go across the other side of the border to the Chicago side, the University of Michigan. Yes. So now we're going across the lake. If anybody's not been there, but just go across the lake and you'll see, what do you call it? 1,800 texts. They've got 1,000 volumes of Arabic manuscripts. What's going on here? In the University of Michigan, codices and rolls, and they've even got many small, maybe thousands of single pages of leaves going back 1,000 years and carrying 1,800 titles in Arabic, Persian, and Ottoman Turkish is Arabic. Yes, and the Persian is Arabic. It's not modern Persian. Yeah, you'll have to read my books to understand this. What do you think they're doing there? Are they actually the local manuscripts or they came from the Middle East? What do you think now, Raphael?
Well, as I said, just like with the coins, it rather seems as if they were found from a previous civilization, collected, and
Yes.
yeah.
And the best ones, they've hidden them, and the worst ones, they've put them there. Let's go to Harvard now. Harvard. Wow. This is an amazing place. Harvard. What do we find there? 1,200 volumes. Do you know what a volume is? Like the Britannia Encyclopedia volume, guys. I want you to imagine volumes of Islamic manuscripts representing 2,000 works is in Harvard. What the hell's going on? They also have something else of 280 manuscripts from Houghton Library. From Houghton Library, they just brought them over from there. But what's going on here? That we've got them from the 10th century, all these Arabic manuscripts. What's going on here, guys? We can't find so many in Wujda city in Morocco. I don't think I'll find any manuscripts there. I've been there myself. If they're there, they're fake and bogus. Or in Taza city in Morocco, or in Taurit. Yes, I don't think I'm going to find so many manuscripts in Tanta in Egypt. I've been there, or in Ismailia. I don't think I'll find that many manuscripts in Beitul Lahem or Bethlehem in Palestine. What the hell are or in Akko or Acre? Yes, in Israel. Yes, and that's another Arabic city. Yeah, I'm not going to get into the conflict now today. Many Israelis live there. Yes, I hope everybody gets on together. We're not going to find all these things there. What the hell's going on? 1,200 volumes of manuscripts in Harvard. Okay, let's keep going. That's not enough. Some people are going to say, it's not enough, David. Okay, Northwestern University has got 3,000 manuscripts, and they're going to say from Africa, Arabic manuscripts, from West Africa, 5,000 items, handwritten. Yeah, most are in Arabic, some are in Persian or Turkish, but it's not Turkish, they're using Arabic. Arabic Turkish was 80%, like American English is 80% like English English. There's like a 10-20% difference. So it's actually the same language. What do you think is going on here? Can you see how many manuscripts?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's too many. We're talking 3,000 manuscripts, 5,000 manuscripts they're saying are from Africa. But we checked the history of Africa. They can't even find these manuscripts themselves. But they found them in Africa. Wait a minute. They couldn't even open any libraries there. They call them bread and butter libraries that we can't even find these manuscripts in Africa. What do you think is going on here? These, this shows that these manuscripts were already here. They were already in America. That was the original American civilization. Same like many Europeans didn't migrate there. They were already in America. Northwestern University is in Illinois or Illinois, however you want to pronounce it, in case some people are thinking, is it Northwestern Canada or somewhere? Okay, now let's go to the Library of Congress. Yes, the Library of Congress in the United States has got 2,000 plus manuscripts from the 9th century, 10th century, 11th century, 13th century, and everything. 2,000 plus. We don't even know how many. They've got many hidden away. Yes, and the thing is, what do you think is it's doing there in Washington, D.C.? Yeah, they must have collected them from America, not from the Middle East. It's just a scam. They're lying. Yes. So the thing is, let's go to many of these other things. Let's go through a bit more of the details in the Library of Congress and some other places. Yeah, a breakdown. What do you call it? Yes. What do you call it? We've got 2,878 Arabic manuscripts, 1,197 Persian manuscripts, 900 manuscripts in Turkish, and uncatalogued 2,300, mostly old Ottoman Turkish, which is Arabic. They've just given it a lie title.
Hmm.
What do you think is going on? And there's thousands of them. Don't know. 2,000, 3,000, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, about 7,374 manuscripts in Arabic. What do you think is going on here? Now let's go to Yale. Yale University, Yale Museum. 3,500 manuscripts in Arabic. What do you think is going on here? And Qurans, hundreds of Qurans. We got thousands of Qurans, millions of pages of Qurans just in America. More than what we're going to find in the entire Islamic world. More than Pakistan, more than Uzbekistan, more than Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, more than any of these places which have been Muslim for centuries. What the hell is going on here? UCLA. Yeah, let's go to
So
UCLA
just
now in
one
Los
thing I'm
Angeles.
wondering about, because you mentioned that in Egypt and other places they gave out the official Quran versions. Shouldn't it be maybe possible, if any of these manuscripts are quote unquote real, to reconstruct something that may be akin to the more original version of the Quran?
Yes, yes, that's why the Muslims memorized it, the original. That's why I'm going to go through that in a minute of the Muslim hadith and the history. It's because these hadith and the history, the manuscripts are in Europe and America. They're not in the Middle East.
Hmm.
Yes, you're beginning to see. I'm not just going to go on the Quran. I'm getting there. It's because there's so many people there saying, "Hey, we're going to try to find this history, try whatever." And the thing is, no, none of these Muslims, none of these other people mention this. I'm probably one of the first to actually mention it on record, pointing this out. I'm probably one of the first. Yes. So then, oh yeah, now there's many people. Yes, many people in many groups. They're making many videos and many things. They don't want to mention my work or my books, and they're pretending like, yeah, there's many people who are going to be watching this on their groups, and they're going to be saying, hey, that's because this history is this and that. Yeah, I remember we spoke about the toilet boy. Yes, he was trying to say, hey, the root words in Arabic. Yeah, I'm sure he felt embarrassed. Yeah, and some of his friends, when they turned on, thought, hey, the root words don't exist. Yes, they were invented. So now we're going to UCLA. How many manuscripts in UCLA, Raphael?
Oh, only 7 to 8,000.
Only seven, and they're from the 11th century, 12th century, 1,000 years old. And the thing is, many of these manuscripts, it must have been from the students in those American cities from the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries, because the Inquisition was burning the originals in America at that time. You see what I'm getting at?
Hmm.
Yes, that
So it's
Arabic.
so it's also even possible that most of these manuscripts are already the rewritten versions, or the, let's say,
Yes, and
redacted versions after the
if you're
Inquisition.
going
Yeah.
to rewrite millions of pages, it means that the people spoke and knew this Quranic Arabic in America at that time. And all these immigrants who were coming from Europe in the 16th century, 17th century, 18th century, they all knew this language because they were learning it, studying it. It was popular. It was the global language. Do you see what I mean?
Hmm.
Yes, then history makes sense. Then it comes down to this Quran book must be more important than we can imagine because it's not in the modern classical fake Arabic language that we're seeing in the Middle East. It's actually in Europe and America, and it's in the language of the Quran. You see? Yes.
Hmm.
So now UCLA, if many people don't know, they'll get mixed up with UCL in London, University College of London. UCLA is University of California, Los Angeles, in case some people don't know. Yeah, what is it doing in California? Yes, and the thing is, many people are going to say, "Hey, it's maybe just a native Indian history." It's many of the European history because the Europeans have been there for centuries now. Yes, many people don't realize this. Yes, and the continuous immigration, they're still going now. From many parts of the world, people are going there right now to live in the United States. Well, let's move forward. If some people are going to say, oh, David, it's not enough, all these millions of pages and everything. Yes, let's keep going. There's more. There's more and more and more. I've not even started the museums and the libraries in Europe or any of the private collections in America or Canada. I've not started even in Mexico. I've not started in the museums in Brazil on all the many cities. So now Princeton. What does Princeton have, Raphael? Have a look through it.
Oh, 10,000. Mm-hmm.
Volumes, not a manuscript. Let's show what let's just show people what a volume looks like in case somebody is going to be confused. Um, yes, the term volume, yes, in case people don't understand, yes, the term volume is what do you call it, a single book that is part of a collection. Yes, in case somebody doesn't understand English. Yes, and we're talking millions and millions of pages. Yes, that what do you call it? We've got. Can you see it? Have you got it? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, we're talking Britannia Encyclopedia, volume 1956 edition, 1957 volume. So the thing is, we have got a genuine problem here. We've got entire mega libraries in the United States and volumes of books of Arabic, and it doesn't make sense and nobody's talking about it. So I spoke about the coins before. Now I'm speaking about these things. More information is in my books, and I'll have more books too. So the thing is, there are people who are trying to challenge me on something, and they're saying just the coins and something. We're talking the entire civilization of Europe and America. This is throughout Europe. Throughout Europe, you'll find it throughout all the cities and the libraries throughout Europe. And you're not going to find it in Iran. These books they're going to say is from Iran, but we can't find them there. And then the old photographs of everything shows that half these cities are something were like dumps, and something what Donald Trump will call and say, hey, these places are or they were something holes like toilet holes or something. I mean, seriously, they were economically backwards. The people went there recently. Something happened in the last 200 years for people to migrate there. So now we've got all these volumes. You can see the picture. Let's go through this again clearly. Yes, we've got Princeton. Yes, Princeton has how many volumes, Raphael?
10,000.
Yeah,
Uh,
and Princeton is in New Jersey, and it's in America. So now the thing is, what many people don't realize about Princeton, yeah, is in New Jersey, and it's got one of the largest Jewish communities there. Yes, in America, in New Jersey. So Princeton is in New Jersey, in America. If people don't know, what do you call it, New Jersey? Let me just show what is New Jersey. It's not far from New York. Yes, and then because this is very important. Yes, because not everybody came from Europe. They've been lied to. Many of the people there, they were separated from their families. You have to read my book Orphan Trains to actually understand it. Yes, so now I'm just going to send you a picture of New Jersey because people seem to think maybe there's nothing there, but New Jersey even has an amazing skyline. Yeah, and the surrounding villages and other places within it, there's millions of people living in the area. So now what we've got is 10,000 volumes or 13,000 volumes of all these Arabic books there. And we're not going to find 13,000 volumes in Baghdad or in Damascus. You see? So, and then the thing is, they're going to say, we picked them up from the Middle East. Liar. Liar. They're lying. You understand? And of course,
Hmm.
there's many people. Yes, if you're going to comment, there's more information to come. Yeah, and the thing is, there's many people who are polite. So on Facebook, I get hundreds of messages. Some people ask me, I tell people wait or do more research yourself because this is very important information. There's many websites I've not, I've only shown a few places, but you're beginning to get the message. What do you call it? Islamic manuscript collections in America. There's just thousands, millions and millions of pages that there's not even any point in me going through it. And the thing is, they were written in America. Yes, there is no evidence. And let's just go through Europe. Like they can't explain this, but everybody knows the potato famines. They destroyed Ireland. The British invaded in the 17th century. In the 17th century, all we've got is thousands of pages of Arabic books in Ireland. That's what we've got.
Hmm.
Why? And do you know what they tell you? They were just collected. Oh, the Irish, yes, were invaded by the British after the 17th century, and they're just killing people, starving people out, enslaving people. Yes, everybody knows this in Irish history. So I am not pushing an Arabic agenda here. There's something here that they're hiding the history. I'm going to go through the history of the Welsh language and the English language next time. So before we finish it off, the thing is, nobody can answer this question. Why are there millions of pages of all these manuscripts throughout Europe and America? And nobody can answer it. The Muslims are giving a bogus thingy. Why? How? And for what reason did so many manuscripts and printed books? And they're saying it, the Muslims will say it came from the Muslim countries. Rubbish. We can't even find so many. It's like if Chinese books come from China, we're going to find more Chinese books in China. So now we know that Chinese students come here, they take English and American books when they come to study in Australia and everywhere, but we're going to find 100 times more in Australia and in England, English books. Yes, Indians come here and they
Right.
take it. But what do you call it? Why are we finding 100 times more? Yes, of all these books and manuscripts, 100 times more throughout Europe. I've not even been through Eastern Europe yet, or Germany, or the museums in Poland, or anything. The thing is, it just doesn't make sense. They're lying. These books were local books. They burnt the originals, and then what do you call it? And then when you ask some of these professors, they're just going to say, ah, we've got millions of pages, and they're all here, and the majority is in Arabic, American Historical Association, because people are asking. Yes, so they asked, and they said it was because when the British, they were interested in Arabic mainly. Their initiative, their indefatigability, they weren't tired. Yes, and that university says in Europe and America, they were just crazy to have thousands of manuscripts in Arabic.
They didn't
Uh,
sleep. That's how they found all the manuscripts instead of just
when they
having
say
taken
Near
them.
Eastern, they're trying to brainwash you. It means Turkish and Farsi, which is Arabic also. Yes, the thing is, people will have to check that they removed these Arabic words and everything. And then the thing is, they invented these Arabic dictionaries and everything. And then they put what they went is from Europe. They went and they put some of these. What do you call it? Fake Arabic manuscripts when they invaded and they're building all these fake sites. They put many of these manuscripts there. I went through this before, yes, in basic things, but some of these Muslim nationalists have turned around and they're trying to confuse people. So I made this video for them. And of course, many of these Muslim nationalists, it doesn't agree with their history, and many of them are ungrateful. I told you, don't you have no shame? Why are you coming back to listen to me again? Yeah, you don't like my things, and many of you have commented, and many of these nationalists from Europe and America are commenting things. You don't like me. Why are you listening to my things? It's because you know I've got something important to say or show. And then you duplicate my things, making other videos and pointing things out and many other things. And then you invent things yourselves. I've not invented anything here. Everything I've said can be verified. Oh, I'm not preaching anything. I told you I'm not looking for followers. I don't care. I hope some of these historical things helps people. Yeah, helps you in your research thing. I'm not going to declare something as the word of God or something. How dare I declare something as the word of God or something? I'm not here to mislead anybody. Yes, and as you've noticed, I'm sure it's totally shocked you today about hey, how they're lifting blocks and everything, and they've enslaved people. I'm sure you're totally shocked. There's millions of pages. I've not even been through many libraries and museums and collections. I've only been through about 20, I think, or maybe 10 or 15
Mm.
or 30. But even that is like millions of pages. It's too much. Who wrote them? When did they write them? How many students were there? It's like an entire civilization. We're talking about millions of pages in thousands and thousands of volumes, thousands of manuscripts. This is just an entire civilization. And they're trying to tell us that, hey, we just went to the deserts, we picked it up from there. Bullstein. Any questions, Raphael?
Not right now. Thank you so much for clarifying some of that. I'm sure
Yes.
it was fascinating to everyone listening. And as
Has it
always,
shocked you, by the way, or not?
well, as I said, you always ask me this question. I knew, let's say superficially, I was aware of some of these topics, but it's great that you showed it in more in depth and gave some, very
Yeah.
simple evidence because really with these online searches, I'm just gonna do that for Austria now. I'm not expecting much, but everyone can look up in their local, digital libraries
Yeah.
online, national or whatever, and just
Yeah.
see what kind of Arabic things they have and then
Yeah.
consider for themselves if they are really old or recently written or just what exactly is going on there. Yeah.
Well, they burnt the originals. They were burning people, the skulls and bones. Read my books and everything. You'll see that Europe was invaded. They replaced many of the books. Yes, so many of these manuscripts, of course, will show the world was backwards and everything. And there's millions of pages of them because in Europe and America, people could read and write Arabic. It was the global language, not the Arabic. The people who come from Morocco today, they can't speak this Arabic. They learn it in school. But many of the meanings have been changed by fake dictionaries. The Syrians, if you know many of these Arabs, then the thing is, it's not their native language. It was the European language, European,
Hmm.
Europa, Arabia. This was the language of Europe. And if you're European or American native or even an immigrant or whatever, yes, they destroyed your original civilization. They replaced it. I've not invented this history. They couldn't replace everything. Many things are still there, and they put a fake, bogus history to it. Yeah, they burnt your ancestors alive. If you're from Australia, your ancestors came from Europe. They killed your ancestors. They invaded these lands. They took you over to these places, many of these places. And if you're German, they did crusades every year until they totally took over your lands. And these Persian manuscripts are Prussian. Yes, Persian. And they're going to lie to you and say, oh, no, don't you know this is Persian? That came from, Iran
Don't
over
you
there.
know? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Don't you know
It's
it came from
incredible.
the other side of the world? It's not yours. But then when you go to the other side of the world and say, hey, they got millions of pages there. Oh, we don't know. Ah, your ancestors wrote it, by the way. You're Iranian. It came from your land. We don't know. Excuse me.
Mm.
Yes. Don't you have copies of these things or anything? No. Didn't you print any of these things? No, you were printing them in Prussia on
Yeah.
your printing machine because it was your book. That's why these Arabic words are found in Old Germanic, in Old English, in the old languages of Europe. Do you see?
Hmm.
That's why people were studying it. Yes, and then they, eventually they created fake Latin. Then the Latin languages like French and everything. Then they invented the Germanic languages like German and English and Dutch, and they still have many of these Arabic Quranic words there. Yes, and they couldn't hide it. So what? The information is still here, but many people don't join the dots together.
Yes.
But let's
Yes.
leave it at that, Raphael. Yes, if you haven't read my books and if you don't like what I'm saying, why do you keep coming back to listen again and again? Why do you keep coming back? Stop coming back. I'm even telling you, get lost. That's an insult. Show some shame. By the way, show some self-respect. Don't come back. You understand? Yes, because you're disturbing people, other people, because I'm not going to declare the Vedas or Islamic texts or Christian texts or anything to be the word of God. I'm here because I'm talking about history, because maybe there's some things that I haven't understood, and maybe somebody else could enlighten me, or I'm hoping my work benefits people. This is nothing to do with religion. Yes. And the thing is, in America, they've got these Arabic manuscripts. If they found Chinese manuscripts, I would be speaking about Chinese. Yes, they found Arabic, so I'm going to speak about Arabic. That doesn't mean I'm preaching Chinese religion or Arabic religion or anything. I'm not preaching anything. Yeah, I hope my research, if it helps you. And then the thing is, there's many missing links. It's in my books. If you haven't read them, then I'm sorry. And the thing is, I'm giving these lectures about my books and these interviews. Yes. So the thing is, if somebody's saying he's promoting my books, what do you want me to do? Promote your books? Yeah. Are you dumb or something stupid dumb? You must be. Yes. Anyway, let's leave it at that, Raphael.
Thank you for laying it out. Thank you for making it
Yeah.
all clear and explaining it, David. And yeah, looking forward to the next time. Thank you so
Yeah.
much
Okay.
for your
Have a
time.
nice day. Okay. Yes. Have a nice day. Okay. Bye.